Well, hello there, folks, and welcome back to the channel, Accelerated Training Academy. It's where it's at for the people that want to take their training, workshop facilitation skills to the next level. And in today's video, it's going to be very specific and it's going to answer a frequently asked question. Well, it wasn't really frequent, but it was an amazing question that has come up because recently I posted on a social media platform there. Ultimately, as a trainer, presenter, coach, facilitator, if you are delivering training online, I highly encourage everybody to be standing up. All right, standing up. And if you're sitting down, your energy is going to be a lot limited in regards to what you can actually project, right? Now, from that post, though, someone asked the question, do you have any tips for hybrid delivery? Do you have any tips for hybrid delivery? Now, for those that don't know, hybrid delivery is essentially when you are delivering face-to-face, but you also have people tuning in via online modems or mediums or whatever it may be. So online via Zoom or Teams or some other platform. So you've got two audiences. You've got face-to-face and you've got people zooming in, right? Now, here's the thing, folks. If you can avoid it, don't do it. If you can avoid it, do not ever, say it again, ever do hybrid delivery. Now, here's the reason. Ultimately, regardless of what happens, you're going to have two audiences that feel like your energy is split. And whenever you're splitting energy, the receivers feel it. So if you're in the face-to-face space and you're directing energy to online, they're going to feel left out. If you're directing to online, they feel left out. If you're directing to face-to-face, they feel left out. So it's never optimal. It's never great. And generally, I will refuse it and I will say, no, I'm not doing it. If it's online and people have to attend online, I'll say, look, I'll record the session for you and we'll send it through to you. But I avoid splitting my energy as much as I can. So that's the frame. That's what we need to be aware of if we are doing hybrid training. Now, if you have no choice, if you have no choice at all, here's some tips. All right. So first thing, number one, make sure you're standing up if you deliver in hybrid situation, right? That way, that'll allow you to more easily direct your attention here and here. All right. So you can move around and it's a lot easier to do body language for both audiences, right? Now, next part though, is ideally if you can position the camera for the online people so they can see you regardless if you move around, right? So ideally, if you can position it high up, that would be awesome, right? But if it's just positioned on a desk, it's going to be not so great because you're going to be moving around and they will see your back. And okay, it's fine. It is what it is. It's part of hybrid delivery, right? It's not fantastic. So the great thing, I mean, if you look at people like Anthony Robbins, what does he do? He has a stage and he has got cameras all around him. Why? Because he can't split his energy, right? So ideally, if you are doing hybrid, make sure the camera is in a position where it can see you regardless of where you are. Next thing, if you are asking questions, which I'm sure that you are, and maybe you've even attended a recent workshop I did on questions and phrases you can use when you are delivering online. And the thing is, you want to make sure that everybody feels included, right? So you want to be asking questions to the class. If you've ever been to France, raise your hand. If you've ever been to France, drop a yes in the chat, all right? And what you want to make sure that you do is you want to be able to see the chat responses. And if you can make it as big as possible, great, right? So that leads on to the next thing, though. If you can limit your numbers, even better. If you can limit your numbers in the online space, so maybe you've only got like 6 to 10 people, really cool, right? So in what that means is if you ask a question, you can more easily see who has answered, who has not. So we need to think about, okay, if I'm speaking to humans, they need to feel included. They also need to feel that these people are part of the process and these people are part of that process as well. So folks, Go ahead. What's the biggest thing you've discovered? Realize from the session so far that we've covered. Go ahead, write it down over this side. Go ahead, type it in the chat, right? So you're catering to both audiences. You're catering to everybody, and they feel like everybody's included. All right, next one. If you're going to do pair work with this audience, you do breakout rooms with this audience. Logic, right? Don't just leave them in the room and expect them to do individual work. No, right? So you want to do breakout rooms here, and you want to do pair work over here. That way, everybody's experiencing a similar dynamic, okay? You ultimately want to train these people and these people like the same group, and you want to get them all integrated as much as you can. Now, you can't do pair work between these people and these people, but what you can do is a similar dynamic, right? So for example, I don't know, if you're going to play a video, you can make sure that these people watch the video and these people watch the video as well. You're teaching the entire room, right? Just keep that in mind. You want to integrate the two. Next thing, breaks, make sure that you give them to these people and these people. Like common sense, right? Next thing, make sure that you also have moments where you get people in the debrief. So if you do an activity with these people over here, face-to-face audience, and you do an activity over here, right? So you're doing an entire activity, whether that's a public speaking activity or, I don't know, a leadership activity, whatever it may be. Make sure in the debrief you include a way that these people hear these people hear these people. So if you're going, okay, we've just done XYZ activity, Mary, could you unmute yourself and share with the entire group, what did you discover? What did you realize? What came up for you as you did the activity? And then maybe you do a debrief where you also include the face-to-face people and you say, oh, Tom, if you could unmute yourself and share with the entire group there, Tom, what did you discover? What did you realize? What came up for you in the activity? And what we're doing is we're blending in the two groups, right? As much as possible, everybody feels included, everybody feels like they belong, and everybody feels like they matter, all right? And that's why I said at the very beginning, it is really, really, really challenging as a trainer, presenter, coach, facilitator, mentor to deliver a hybrid really effectively. Why? Because your energy and focus is split, all right? You want to avoid it if you can. Now, even the greats of the training world, the Anthony Robbins, the Benjamin Harveys, all of that, right? If you're like, even they're either going to do only face-to-face or only online, right? Ideally, they're not going to split their energy if they can. So anyway, having said all of that, if you have to do it, those are some tips. Those are some ideas. And even if you can't integrate all of these ideas, just try and take the principles and weave them into whatever you can do, right? So if you can't position the camera high, well, put it in a way as best you can to capture you as much as you can. Also, I'll just say one last thing. Audio-wise, you probably want to get yourself a lapel mic that goes here, right? A lapel mic and long one, so you can move around the room, but the online people can still hear you. Otherwise, you're going to be relying on the computer audio to pick up your sound, and it's just not going to work, right? So get a lapel mic, and you'll need a long lead, or a wireless lapel mic, that'll do it as well, right? But again, it depends on the context, depends on how many people you're talking to, and the size of the room and all those different fun facts, right? On that note, folks, hope you got value from the video. Hopefully it answers your question there for the person that asked me the question. And On that note, have an amazing rest of your day, whatever's going on for you. And hopefully you got some value from the video. If you did, like, comment, share, and let's get the message out there. Let's help some people out in the training space for hybrid training. Thanks for watching, team. And on that note, go out there, speak to be remembered, and make a difference in your marketplace.